Did you know that an estimated 5 billion plastic hand soap and cleaning bottles are thrown away each year? That is such a lose-lose situation for you and the planet. Blueland is on a mission to eliminate single-use plastic by reinventing cleaning essentials to be better for you and the planet with the same powerful clean you're used to. They offer refillable cleaning products with a beautiful, cohesive design that looks great on your counters. You'll never have to grab bulky cleaning supplies on your grocery run again. I seriously love all the products, from the cleaning sprays to hand soap, toilet bowl cleaner, and laundry tablets. The other day, my cleaner Lou, shout out as I know he listens, even commented on how good these products work. So professional house cleaner approved too. Blueland has a special offer for listeners. Right now, get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/dateable. You don't want to miss this. blueland.com/dateable for 15% off. That's blueland.com/dateable to get 15% off.
My word for this year has been harmony, and how serendipitous that Equilibria, a woman-owned wellness brand, focuses on bringing your mind and body back into harmony. Equilibria offers science-backed products that have helped over 200,000 women feel better. My go-to product is a daily Nutri-Greens, which contains an immune antioxidant and detox blend, along with prebiotics, probiotics, and over 35 fruits and veggies. They support digestion, boost the immune system, boost mood and energy levels, and helps detoxify the body. Admittedly, I'm not the best at reaching my recommended quota of veggies every day, but the daily Nutri-Greens makes it so much easier to reach that goal. Plus, it tastes great, and I feel an immediate energy boost after. This is my travel hack of the year, which is taking daily Nutri-Greens on the road with me so I can get my daily dose of greens even if I'm not home. Now, for our Dateable listeners only, head to myeq.com and use the code DATEABLE for 15% off Equilibria's daily Nutri-Greens and much more. That's myeq.com and use the code DATEABLE at checkout for 15% off site-wide today. Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating sociologists.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to the Dateable Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Brunch Talk, where we dissect your burning dating questions over brunch.
What better thing to do over brunch than talk about dating? I don't know anything better.
My family and I did have an amazing brunch the other day. And I
talk
think
about
you would
dating?
have loved it. Yes. Talk about dating. And my parents were like, what is dating? How does that work? We went to a modern Vietnamese fusion cafe for brunch. It was so amazing. It was like beef belly with scrambled eggs. Oh my gosh. I think you would have really loved it.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, this is a special brunch talk because it's our last of the season. But have no fear, we are not going away. We will be re-airing the best of brunch talk until our next season, season 19.
And so we're going to finish off the season with a banger. The question is, how do you stay open without sacrificing what's right for you?
For more info from the listener that wrote in, I'm at a place where I've learned to say no to things that don't feel right. Before, I used to entertain possible relationships for far too long. But now that I've found that even if my compatibility meter is going check, 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 I'm finding that I'm unsure. Is my anxiety a clue that I should keep with the no train until I find someone I'm completely relaxed with? Or should I give these great options a try, and if it's not right, after some time, step out?
This is such a wonderful question because we've been taught for all of our lives that when you know, you're just sure, your whole body is screaming yes. And I will tell you, in my experience, some have felt that way. And some of my best relationships have not felt that way. There was always a question mark from the beginning. And that question mark, a lot of times, like this listener is alluding to, is it's not even about them. It's about you, what you are processing inside. So if you're feeling that question mark with anybody, if it's not a no, it's a maybe for you to explore, why is it that? Get more curious about why you're feeling the uncertainty.
Well, first of all, kudos to this listener for learning how to establish boundaries. I think that is a very hard thing to do. And I think actually when you're sacrificing what's right for you is when you don't say no ever and you just let things happen. But I also see where this question is coming because overcorrection can happen. I think when we go too far on one side, it's easy to go too extreme that we're no longer giving anyone a chance, which is what it sounds like this person is facing. So how do you do it without sacrificing what's right for you? Ultimately, I think you still need to know what your deal breakers are and what your needs are in a relationship. And if someone can't meet them, then that's what's sacrificing what's right for you. So it's probably the openness, like what is it you're actually being open about? Is it just, superficial things or the spark isn't there immediately? Like, how do you differentiate the things that it's important to be open with versus the deal breakers?
So when you say check, check, check on the compatibility meter, what does that mean? What are you compatible in? And maybe it is, we do hear this a lot. I met someone amazing. They're so great. They're so thoughtful. They're everything I thought I needed, but there's just something missing. And if that is the case, then let's explore what that could be. Like, what is that missing thing? And maybe it's, again, not from them. It's from you. Like, what is missing in me that is not completely like getting on this train right now?
That's really important because we've heard this a lot from people. It's like when they're used to people that can't meet their needs and you've overstayed these relationships, when something does feel more reciprocal and dare we say boring, it ends up feeling like something's wrong because that spark and that energy and chemistry and excitement isn't there. And the question I would have for the listener, or all of our listeners, is it because the way you've been programmed to think about love, or is it because this person isn't right for you? And you might not know that on date one. And I think there's also something here to normalize that you don't need to know on the first couple dates. Like, that's the point of dating, is to figure out if this is the right person for you.
It's so tough because it's hard to find that balance. And if you go too much one direction, you just keep getting ahead of yourself. Like, this could be it. This could be the one. Like, this is the person. And if you dial it on the other side of the spectrum, like you were saying, Julie, then it's like everyone has to prove their worth, prove their compatibility to you. And end of the day, no one is going to be compatible because no one comes as a perfect package for you. So, like, how do you strike that balance? It's just such a struggle for so many of us. And I think what I found to work is you have to just keep checking in with yourself.
Yes.
A lot of dating, we check in with the other person. How do they feel about me? Do they still like me? Check in with yourself and really sit with the question of like, do I want to spend more time with this person? Not even romantically. Do I just want to give more of my time to this person to get to know them and to reveal more of myself to them? Do I feel safe? Do I feel respected? Do I feel empowered and supported to do that?
I think you ultimately need to know, what is your North Star? What do you want in a relationship? What is it that you're looking for? What are the qualities? What is this compatibility? Check, check, check. Is it stuff that's like they're tall and make six figures? Or is it like they are, a trustworthy partner and I feel like my best self around them? Like, what is the check, check, check? So that's number one. And then also, even if, let's say, everything checks out, you're completely compatible and you're focused on the right qualities, if you're still not feeling like your true self with them or excited about the connection, it's okay to pass. That doesn't mean that you're like giving up on your one shot of love. I think it's a combination of knowing what you're looking for, but also trusting your intuition and how you're feeling and being honest with yourself.
And we don't need to give ourselves so much pressure to make a decision.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to say, this is my person, or this is it, or I need to be with this person. Can this just be more of a back and forth getting to know each other?
Yeah.
Take that pressure off, right? And I think so many times we get into these dating spirals for like a few months and we're like, I got to make a decision now. I got to make a decision if this is my forever person or I want to be in a relationship with this person. How about you just say, I'm committing to spending more time with this person.
Right. Getting to know them, because that's honestly, time is what you need here. You need to see how it plays out.
Yes.
I want to go into this a little more because I can think of a perfect example in my own life. But before we do, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors.
Summer is basically here, and your wardrobe needs an upgrade, right? Instead of a flimsy fast fashion haul, which I used to be guilty of, now spend your money wisely on high quality essentials that will last beyond the season. Quince is my spot for quiet luxury without paying luxury prices. They offer a range of must-have items like 100% European linen under $50, 14 karat gold jewelry from $30, and my most favorite recent purchase was a pair of comfy, high-quality biker shorts that cost about half of what I would normally pay. I know you're wondering how they do it. Quince partners directly with top factories to cut out the cost of the middleman and pass the savings on to you. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium eco-friendly fabrics and finishes. So I can feel good about getting high-quality items that last longer. Upgrade your closet this summer with Quince. Right now, go to quince.com/dateable to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's QUINCE.com/DATEABLE for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dateable.
Spring, a time for new beginnings. But you know what adds an extra spring to my step? Our partners at Via Hemp. Whether you want to get better sleep, ease anxiety, enhance your mood, or just get high, they have something for you, including their best-selling High Love Gummy, which will awaken your senses, increase blood flow, and intensify any sexual experience. A couple of weeks ago, I shared some of my gummies with my cleaner, Lou, who we've also had as a guest on the podcast. Shout out to Lou. The first thing he said to me when he came over today was if he could have more because they were that damn good. Personally, I've been liking their zero THC products. So whether you're a 2 milligram or a 50 milligram user, Via has something for you. So head to viahemp.com and use the code DATEABLE to receive 15% off and one free sample of their award-winning gummies. 21 plus. That's VIIA hemp.com and use the code DATEABLE at checkout. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Take your passion and pleasure to a whole new level with High Love from Via Hemp.
Is anyone else struggling with what to wear these days? I feel like styles change faster than dating trends, and I certainly don't want to be buying new clothes all the time just to keep up. So enter Armoire. Armoire allows you to rent high-quality designer clothing for every occasion. And when I signed up, I took a style quiz, and based on my preferences, they offer suggestions that would best match my lifestyle. The more I rent, the more on point the suggestions get. I recently rented this gorgeous Tanya Taylor silk dress for date night and got so many compliments. I wouldn't normally have chosen this style, but with Armoire, you can take chances because if you don't like it, you just swap it out. Right now, our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off their first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/dateable. That is armoire.style, spelled ARMOIRE.style/DATEABLE to get up to 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today. And if you forget the link, just head to our Instagram and find it under special offers.
So I remember I met this guy and it was good. Like he was clearly very interested in progressing it into a relationship. We actually had a really great first date. I might have been a little drunk, but that contribute to it. I got to a happy hour first, which anyways, the first date was really good and he followed up quickly. You could tell he was just a stand-up guy that wanted a relationship and you could tell he was very interested in me too, which was great. So I wanted to because I was also what I was looking for. I didn't want to discount it. So the next date I went on, I did not have the same feelings as the first date. Probably because I was more sober. The connection wasn't there. The back and forth talking wasn't there. All of it, it just felt very dry. But I kept going with it again because I was like, I feel like there is a lot here that's compatible and maybe the connection will grow. That was my mindset. But after 4 or 5 dates, maybe even a few more, I didn't want this person to touch me. And I'm a pretty affectionate person. So that was a sign. I did kiss them, but I felt cringy towards it. All of these are not good things to be happening with someone. And it's not fair to the other person either because they were a great person. I'm sure there's someone out there. They're probably already taken at this point. This was years ago. that would be so down for them. So it's really not fair to like me to keep them on the hook while I'm deciding. But I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm still glad I took the extra dates to figure it out. And it was abundantly clear. And I never like looked back and was like, oh, did I pass on someone? I knew this person wasn't right for me, even though they like in theory aligned with what I was looking for and what I wanted.
That's a really great example. You had to do and try your best. That is all you have control over. So you gave it your all, tried your best to assess the compatibility, and ultimately you decided not the right person for you. And that's great. I think that like for all of our listeners, think about, are you trying your best right now, giving this person a chance? And listen to your body. If your body's shutting off when there's time for affection or a kiss, that's your body's way of telling you something too. And a lot of times we don't listen to our bodies.
I think the body tells all, especially with anxiety too. Like if you're feeling like you're not completely sure, I think it goes again back to, is it because you're getting a feeling or is it because it's unfamiliar? And unfamiliar actually could be a positive thing, especially if you're used to saying like yes to things that ultimately weren't right. It might actually be the best thing for you that it feels different, and that could be uncomfortable. So it's understanding, what is this uncomfortable? Is it a sign or is it just trying something new?
Technically, as you get to know someone more, you do feel safer, and then your body does open up a little bit more to them. So if you're spending more time with someone and your body's becoming more and more closed off to them, that's probably a very telling sign. There could be some trauma in there as well that has nothing to do with this person, or just like general feeling of safety for a lot of women. But listening to your body, I think that's like so key.
And I can hear people like listening to my story and being like, were you just leading this person on? So I think a lot of people feel bad about going on date after date when they're unsure. And I would argue like, yes, of course it sucks when someone ultimately tells you like it's not the right fit. I'm sure it was not like a good thing for him to hear that. But I don't think I was doing it in a malicious way. I was like trying to make it work and get to know this person because I did see good in the situation. It wasn't like I'm like, oh, I'll just lead him on until I find something better. I think there's a difference of those two.
It is nice to have a very clear sign, in your instance, just like your body telling you this is not the right fit. And I think maybe that is like what we ultimately are looking for. I had a similar situation with someone who I really thought, oh my gosh, this person could be someone very special. He was wonderful. It was like 4th of July. I invited him to our 4th of July party that we're having with all of our friends. And because I was like, this could be someone.
Yeah.
And we slept together the night before, and my body immediately was like, nope. And it wasn't like he was bad or anything. It was just like, my body was like, no. And I even ended up leaving in the middle of the night because I was like, I don't even want to cuddle with this person. It was nothing like disgusting about what happened.
Yeah.
My body was just like, no. This is not the right fit. Get out. Don't lead them on, and don't make something happen that's like not meant to happen.
I think everyone can be like good on paper, have all the compatibility checklists, but if you don't feel good in their presence, it's a no-go. And also, I think the other one is, do you feel like the best version of yourself with this person? And I realized with the person I mentioned, I never laughed with him. And to me, that was like so core to a relationship, and something that I need in my life is like joy and laughter.
Yeah.
And like by like 8 or so dates, like I just never felt like I laughed in conversation or anything. And that to me is like a deal breaker. Like to me, that is not someone I can build a relationship with. So even though they have everything else, if it's not someone you jive with and you like being around, like what are you doing?
What do you think is going on in that? I might go on a little tangent here because I'm curious. I would argue most people want to laugh. Like they want joy and they want lightness and playfulness in a relationship. Do you think it's just like your humor didn't mesh well? Or is he just like not a very lighthearted person?
I mean, I think it can be both depending on the situation. I think in this case, it was just that our personalities didn't jive.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like sometimes you get around people and you can just talk nonstop and it's so effortless.
Yes.
And it flows. And I would love to do more research and understand this better because I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
And then other people, it's like pulling teeth to make convo.
Yes.
Like, why is that the case? I would assume a lot of it just has to do with like personality compatibility, but it's hard to know.
Well, goes back to bring it back to you. Am I being my authentic self? Am I staying true to myself? Am I catering to myself? Am I checking in with myself throughout this? Like the person could be the most perfect person on paper, like you were saying, Julie, but if you are not staying true to yourself, then it's all, who cares? That person is probably better for someone else.
And I'm not saying here like never to act with conviction, because I think that's very important to have hard yeses and nos. But I also think in the early stages of getting to know someone, it's okay to have a maybe.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And of course, that can't last forever. It can't be like 2 years later and you're like, maybe. But I think in the first couple months of dating, especially if you're only seeing them like once a week, like it's hard to have a strong yes or no sometimes. And a lot of maybes can turn into that strong yes or maybe even the strong no.
So what do you think is the right time box or something like that for you to have a strong feeling in either direction?
I don't know if there's like an exact date, but I think it depends. Like I would say first month to at least have like a gauge. Do I enjoy being around this person?
Mm-hmm.
Also, is it building every date? That's maybe a question too.
Yeah.
Is it like, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more, you could see it going somewhere. I don't think you need to decide like within a month, like, is this my forever person? But I do think by a month in, you could be like, do I actually enjoy being with this person?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem too much to ask for.
Like inching towards the yes.
Yeah.
Are you at least going in that direction?
Yeah. And I think also, even if you decide to like, okay, I feel like a yes, but I'm not like 100% sure. I don't know if this is my forever person. I think it's also okay to try being exclusive with the person for a month and like diving in a little more, like not just seeing them once a week for an hour over drinks, but spending a weekend with them. I think until you get that FaceTime, it's hard to make a call sometimes when it's like in this middle ground.
And also, I want to bring up the point that you may never be 100% sure. I know many married people who got married when they were like, kind of sure. Like, they're not committing to this person being 100% sure about them. They're committing to picking this person to be their person. Your meter doesn't have to go from maybe to 100% yes, but at least every day gets you closer to the yes.
Yeah.
That is the only direction that matters.
Yeah. Ultimately, do you feel good around this person? Do you feel like you have similarities of worldview and lifestyle and how you view things? And, you have alignment on where you want to be going in the future as well.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that epic question, for a really epic finale to brunch talk. But like we were saying, we don't go anywhere. It's just like we're closing out the new questions for now. But this is also the perfect time for you to send in your questions, because we're making a list for the new season. You can email us hello@dateablepodcast.com. You can DM us on Instagram @dateablepodcast. Or best yet is you leave a rating and review, 5 stars, please. And in the body of your review, you can ask your question there. And you can even say like, for season 19, here's my question. We'll get it right away. Like when we look at that, we'll prioritize that right away. And your questions will be answered first when that season launches.
Love it. So many good questions all the time. So thank you for all of our listeners out there that contribute to Brunch Talk and make it possible.
And we'll see you all next season.
See you next season.
The Dateable Podcast is part of the Frolic Media Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram @Dateable Podcast and visit dateablepodcast.com for access to all the episodes and our premium programs. Also, make sure to subscribe today if you haven't already on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform, so you are the first to get all the latest episodes. And most importantly, stay dateable.
Before you leave this episode, just a reminder to head over to dateablepodcast.com/programs if you want to get in on our Meeting People IRL Masterclass and see what else we have in store.
When you need to work quickly and confidently across different apps and platforms, consistent quality communication is key. Whether you're writing documents, emails, or presentations, you need Grammarly. It's an AI writing partner that helps you get your work done faster with better writing. It's always there to help, because it works where you work. Across 500,000 apps and websites, so you can get more done no matter where you're writing. Grammarly is the gold standard of responsible AI, trusted by millions of professionals for 15 years. It gives you personalized writing suggestions based on your audience, goals, and context. Plus, tone suggestions to help you navigate even the most difficult work conversations. 96% of users agree Grammarly helps them craft more impactful writing. Sign up and download Grammarly for free at grammarly.com/podcast. That's GRAMARLY.com/podcast. Grammarly. Easier said, done.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.